Do you ever feel anxious? Well, it turns out that you may be in good company. According to the American Psychological Association, a whopping 3 out of 5 American workers felt so stressed in the past year that it affected their motivation, energy, and performance. Wow. Let's let that sink in for a second. 3 out of 5. And approximately 1 in 5 Americans suffered from anxiety in the past year. And it's not just America. A study in Europe suggested that mental disorders affect more than 160 million Europeans. That's 38% of the population each year. So, what is society anxiously doing about all this? Well, for one, there's drug therapy, but how well does drug therapy actually work? According to recent research from Harvard Medical School and others, drug therapy has little effectiveness for anxiety. And while drug therapy may lower negative feelings, it may do so at the cost of numbing one's ability to feel anything. Not to mention adverse drug reactions, which are the unintended, sometimes harmful side effects. So what are the alternatives? Something as simple as breath couldn't help with the worldwide epidemic of stress and anxiety, could it? Au contraire, mon frère, or however you say that in Swedish. Researchers at the University of Karlstad in Sweden were looking for programs to reduce stress and anxiety among their students, to increase wellness in the general population, as well as to prevent anxiety in the first place. So they recruited 103 stressed-out undergrads for a randomized controlled trial. They tested everyone at the beginning of the study using standard psychological measures to assess their baseline stress. Half of the participants were assigned to relax in an extremely comfy armchair and observe their breath to relax even further. And the other half learned and practiced a simple breathing exercise called sky breath meditation. Both groups practiced their shiny new relaxation technique for about 15 to 20 minutes daily for 6 weeks. Then, everyone was tested for stress again using the HAM-A scale. Scientists discovered that the Sky group experienced statistically significant reductions in anxiety, as much as 31%, while the control group was about as stressed out as before, albeit in a nice comfy chair. These dramatic results suggest that our breath is a potent tool for reducing stress and anxiety. Now let's travel to Italy to look at an even more extreme trial. 69 outpatients, a measure after only 2 weeks, and a 6-month follow-up evaluation. The Neurosciences Department of the Fatebenni Fratelli Oftalmico Hospital in Milan reviewed the effect of Sky on 69 outpatients, many of whom still suffered from anxiety or depression after 6 months of treatment with standard medication and psychotherapy. One interesting variable: the outpatients in Group 1 continued to take medication during the study, while Group 2 did not. So what happened? You guessed it, 6 months of daily Sky practice. And what was the before and after? Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's check in at the end of week 2. After only 15 days of Sky practice, these patients exhibited significant reductions in anxiety and depression. Looking at the 6-month follow-up evaluation period, this decline in anxiety and depression continued even more. This demonstrated that the results were not just a placebo effect. The researchers found Sky to be effective in relieving both clinical and non-clinical anxiety and depression. And even more surprisingly to some, patients who were not on medication achieved even better results than patients who were on medication. Alright, that's 2 groundbreaking trials and a boatload of data. Let's review some of the numbers. Sky breath meditation resulted in a 23% decrease in non-clinical anxiety and a 58% mean decline in anxiety and depression in the 3rd study. Now keep in mind that these are the results of just 2 studies out of more than 100. The implications of this research are powerful. Sky not only reduced anxiety for clinical and non-clinical anxiety, but was noted as easily learned and cost-effective. When you compare Sky to the cost of years of drug therapy, it's not hard to see why. To learn more, visit aolf.me/research.